What is going on YouTube? My name is Caleb and this is a Q&A. Alright, question number one. As a beginner, which powder could I take? Depend on your current shape and what your goal is, right? So if you are very lean and trying to gain mass, then you need a mass gainer. But if you're already pretty big and trying to burn fat and build muscles at the same time, I advise a whey protein powder. And if you lactose intolerance or you're trying to really get lean, you're trying to really control your calorie intake, then you go for protein, whey protein isolate, because it has less calorie and less lactose, and that is why it's the only protein that I use. I'm lactose intolerant. Question number two, have you used creatine in your early training? If yes, which one? So no, I haven't. What? Yes. So I trained for about 2 years before I started taking supplements, because believe it or not, in those 2 years I had no idea bodybuilding was a thing and there was supplement and there was techniques to it, and I didn't know it was a thing, right? I followed my cousins to the gym, and obviously my dad asked me to go to the gym with my cousin, but that being a kind of a bodybuilder, you know, in his days. So I went to the gym, I followed what they're doing, and that was it. I didn't do any research about it, because I was really into computers, software, and all that shit. That was my stuff, right? So physics, looks, and all that was never really something I had interest in. So obviously I had zero knowledge and had no interest in acquiring knowledge about that. So I trained just going to the gym and looking at people and doing what they're doing. I did that for 2 years, until I was on YouTube and just came across a Ronnie Coleman video on YouTube, and prior to that, the biggest man I've seen was Arnold, obviously, in his movies. So I watched that video of Ronnie Coleman and I was hooked. And he has all these muscles, lats muscles. I didn't know you could have lats. I had no idea. I literally had no idea you could build your body like that. So I started doing researches, and that's how I found out about supplement, creatine, protein, calories intake, protein intake, how to train body parts and all that. It's at that point that I figured out what I was. So I did research, and the first supplement that I used was, I went to a pharmacy and found a protein powder. So it was in a metallic tub, right? And the name was Run Beat Body. And I realized that way later that the run was actually really Coleman, but his back was on the top. And yet, I don't think they make that protein anymore. So it wasn't really a professional kind of thing. It was, like I said, I got it in the pharmacy. So you had 13 grams of protein per serving, and I would take that before the gym. It was in a can, and it was like basically cocoa powder, something you make hot chocolate with. So I used that, bought, I believe, 3 or 4 tubs, and then later I figured out there's a shop that sells supplements. So I went over there, and they only had Matrix product, and I got Size Up, right? So back then, like I got 2 boxes, I believe, and it had 4 big tubs in it. And then they were giving away Creatine Blast, actually, when you buy a full box of mass gainer. So I got 2 tubs of Creatine Blast from them. I opened one tub, I used it, and I remember taking it, and I had those, you know when you take a pre-workout, you have this tingling sensation on the skin. So I had that feeling, and I didn't like it, so I ended up giving the tub away, and I continued using the protein, the mass gainer, right, until someone actually told me about pre-workout. And then I opened the second tub and used it as Creatine Blast, as Matrix Creatine Blast. So I wasn't using it for creatine purposes, mostly because it was a pre-workout as well. Great product, by the way. I don't think they make it anymore, which, well, honestly it's a shame, but I never really use it that much. Just that one tub. And then I stick to mass gainers, because to be fair, a lot of mass gainers have creatine, a fair amount of creatine and amino in them. And I wasn't a pro, I wasn't doing bodybuilding professionally. I was going to school, learning language, and doing a formation in the bank I currently work in, by the way, at the same time. So obviously getting swole was not my main goal back then. So I just stuck to the mass gainer. So that was it. I believe that was my experience with creatine. No, 3 years ago, a friend of mine was shipping stuff down here, and then he gave me 2 low box of creatine, and I believe I used them as well. But kind of supposed to be a 2-week stuff. I used them for 2 months because I was taking it. I'll take it today and not take it again till next week or something like that. I wasn't taking it seriously. So honestly, I don't use creatine. Even I don't use it often because I just believe I don't need them. Maybe I could be better if I use them, but I just don't. Honestly, I don't see the point because I eat a lot as well. So that was my experience with creatine. Third question: amount of calories daily, and why not push-pull legs? I don't count calories. I only count my protein intake. I don't believe in counting calories because I think it's too much. That's too much of a length to go to for looks. I'm not saying it's wrong to do it, but for me, I have so many things in my mind, so many things to do every day, so many things to take care of because I have my job, I have businesses, I have a farm, and clients that I train. So many things to do that I cannot be counting calories, right? Even if I could make a diet plan and all that, but I think it's too much. I wouldn't be able to follow it. You significantly slow me down during my day to be counting calories. So what I do is I try to compensate with cardio. I do a lot of cardio. I train in a way that I build muscle and burn fat at the same time. And so I base my diet on the protein intake, and then on the side I try to get as less calories as possible. So I don't count it, but I make the effort to consume as less calories as possible, and then I see how my body feels, and then I see if I need to increase my calorie intake or not. But I don't count or calculate specifically. As far as push-pull leg, I don't do push-pull leg. I used to do that when I started training. Not when I started, but I believe 5-6 years into training, I tried that push-pull leg. I did that for about less than a year. I did it. I didn't see it. I didn't notice any improvement when I did that, and I think the reason being I didn't have enough time to recover. So basically, I'm not sure. So it takes me longer to recover as opposed to someone who might be enhanced. So that added to the fact that I do a lot of things, I really don't have enough time to rest and recover. So if I are doing a push-pull leg routine, I'll basically train the same body part at least twice a week. So and now from the first session, I won't have recovered enough to have a productive session on the second one, the second session. So that's why I do body parts. So this way I can focus on doing one body part a week. That gives me enough time to recover from them, to be able to be 100% on the following week. I could try a push-pull leg if I had more time to sleep, more time to rest, more time to recover. So but I stopped because I remember there was a week where I was really busy. That's when I was building my restaurant, and I was so busy and I was barely sleeping. So I trained, I believe, chest on the Tuesday, and on the Thursday I trained chest again. Thursday or Friday, I don't remember. I was trying chest again, and I was barely able to do anything. I did incline bench, I did flat, 2 exercises, and I couldn't feel my chest anymore. And that's how I found out I hadn't recovered enough. And I noticed the same thing on other body parts on that period of time. So I ended up taking a break from the gym. I took 3 months off from the gym. I had to do that a lot. I should take 3 months off every year. So I took 3 months off. And when I got back, then that's when I came back with my new routine, which is the one body part a week routine. Fourth question: why do you think people say use steroids? I think it's because I'm amazing. My physique is crazy, and there's no way anybody can achieve this naturally. That's what people think, and that's why they think I'm on steroid. But I'm not. I've achieved it naturally, and that's why I enjoy it so much when people say I'm on steroid, because you have to agree with me that it is pretty amazing when that people think you are so good at something that you have to cheat. You know, people think there's no way you can get there without cheating. But I know, and I'm the only one who knows that I haven't cheated. So it is. It really fills my heart with joy when people say that. It feels good. Question: please say her tattoo is fake. Well, assuming you're talking about my girlfriend's tattoo. I think that showed up in the YouTube video that I posted last week. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. It is not fake. It's a real tattoo. I wasn't a big fan of the idea, but you know, her body, her choice. Do I have any secret tattoos? No, I don't have any tattoos. Not a tattoo guy. Actually, I don't like having anything on my skin. That's why I never wear any jewelry, and obviously I rarely wear clothes. I don't like having things on my skin, so I feel like having a tattoo, I'll probably go crazy one day, just grab a knife and try to snap it off. So no secret tattoo. How will you describe your taste in music? It's wide. I mean, I listen to any type of music, from rock to Afro, pop, to rap, R&B. I listen to anything that sounds good. As long as it sounds good, and the lyrics speaks to me, I'll listen to it. But I really love anime soundtracks because they really motivate me and kind of remind me of why I started training in the first place. Because I started training because of animes, Dragon Ball Z. I wanted to be like Goku, and I started training. So listening to all this music kind of take me back to where I was, years ago, and really encouraged me to keep going. So I listen to that a lot. What is your end game in bodybuilding? I have no idea. I haven't thought about it. I train for fun. I train because I want to look a certain way, and that is mainly what having my drive. So I never really had any end goal in mind. But recently I've been thinking, with everything that's going, people, let's be honest, that the number of natural bodybuilders are dropping. People are not trained naturally anymore, and I really wish I could do something, to change that. Like maybe organize natural shows eventually and promote them and make them appealing somehow to people, so more people stay natural or something. I don't know. That would be nice. Wear mosquito spray when you go outside. You have high surface area and are always naked. Actually, that is true. And I keep getting malaria. Mainly because I work at night, so I'm up all night, and mosquitoes hunt at night. And sometimes I work in the living room. Sometimes I get tired of just being cooked up. I'll go to the office, try and work a little bit there. Same thing happens. So I tend to go outside in the garden to work, and that's when I really expose myself to them. And like you said, high surface area, and I believe high protein blood. So it's they love it. But I'll be careful. I do wear mosquito spray, but they don't work with African mosquitoes because they're next level. Do you name your farm animals? No, I don't name them, because if I name them, then I'll get attached, and then I will not be able to monetize them. So no, I don't name them. How are you French? Are you French? Togo and Ghanaian. Which parent is that? So I'm French from my father's side. My father is half France, half Togolese. So obviously both French countries. So that's where I know the French come from. And my mom is Ghanaian, and I was actually born in Ghana. And so that's how come I have both nationalities. I speak both languages. Obviously, I'm better in French. I had to learn the English afterward because I was born in Ghana, and we left Ghana when I was 1 or 2. Came back to Togo, and that's where I grew up until I went back to Ghana when I was 19, I believe, 19 or 20. And that's where I lived till 29 or 28. That's when I came back to Togo, and now I go back and forth between both. Why bodybuilding? Why not powerlifting? Because I started training because I was too small. I was too lean. You could see my bones, and you could see my rib cage actually when I was a kid growing up. So but I was strong. You know, my parents are farmers, so I grew up going to the farm, lifting stuff, working on the farm. So I was already strong and had a lot of stamina. And my issue was as lean. So obviously, in the remedy to that was bodybuilding, not powerlifting, because I already had the strength. I mean, I was so strong, even though I was the smallest in school, because I was really short actually growing up. I was the smallest and the shortest in school, but like everyone was leaving me alone because they see how I do in sports. I was the best in sports, so people were scared of that and leaving me alone. So I hope that answers the question. That's why I picked bodybuilding. Favorite anime? Obviously Dragon Ball Z. I don't even have to think about it. You should do merch. I'm actually gonna do merch. This is funny because I've started working on it this week. So I have a friend who does textile. His company works for the government actually, so good product. And I just linked up with him, and we are working on it, putting things together. But I do want to start big, right? I want to kind of have a lot of product. I'm gonna start with, I'm gonna have shirts, gym bottles, shapewears, basically, a whole bunch of stuff. And I want to launch them at the same time. So it's gonna take a little bit of time. So I believe next year, at some point next year, I'll start launching merch. That is the plan. How did you develop your food routine? That actually was, it took years, because when I started training, I had no idea what diet was, and I didn't need it, right? I didn't need to diet, but I was building muscles, staying lean. But as I was growing up, I realized it was harder to stay lean, it was harder to build muscles as well. So I started increasing my protein intake, decreasing my calories intake, and I'm saying all this, I started this 3-4 years ago. That's when I started actually looking into my diet. Prior to that, I knew what it was, I knew what protein was, I knew all that thing, but I wasn't paying attention to it because I didn't get it until I hit the plateau, and I started modifying my training and my diet. And I started with 80 grams of protein a day. A few months later, it wasn't enough. I increased to 100 grams. A few months later, it wasn't enough. Then I went to 120 grams. And then that worked for a while, I believe for a year or two, and then I hit the plateau again. And that's when I increased to 200 grams of protein, and that's why I'm still on that. So obviously I had to figure out how to get those 200 grams of protein. Make sure I found the cheapest source of protein, because I want to be able to maintain it, right? If I go with sort of protein that's too expensive, I will not be able to maintain it, right? So cheap source of protein, accessible source of protein, because over here is really, there are a lot of things we don't have access to over here. I mean, I have to eat 10 eggs a day, which is a lot of work, because I have to boil the eggs, crack the shells, separate the yellow from the white, and eat them, and the taste is not great because we don't have egg white here. So in certain countries you have egg white in bugs. That really makes it easy for you. And chicken breast is obviously a lot more expensive here, and not accessible to everybody. Same with lean beef and all that, because if you go to the market here, they kind of just kill a cow, a goat, and it's on the table, and you pick the part you want, they just cut it and give it to you. So you don't get the lean part of the meat. You just get a bunch of meat. So it took me a while to actually adjust and find the right balance, let's say, for me, which now is the 10 eggs, chicken breast, and a little bit of beef, and protein shake, obviously, a little bit here and there to be able to get my 20 grams of protein and keep the calories as low as possible. If not married, when will you guys? I don't know. I never really looked into the marriage thing. Never been my thing. I just don't see the point of it, honestly. But I suppose I have to do it eventually. When the need arises. How do you feel about your followers finding you sexy? Obviously I like it. That feels good. Right? It feels good when people say you're sexy. And I try not to I know obviously it feels good, but I kind of have this old school mentality as far as what the role of a man in the world, which is being productive, being strong, being hard, and beauty is not really part of it. So it feels good. As much as it feels good to hear, it doesn't have as much impact it would be on me as if they were saying I'm strong or productive or something like that. So it feels good, but it feels good, and I really appreciate it. How often do I train for mass building? That depends on everybody. I've worked with people who want to stay lean. I've worked with people who want to stay bulk, so they do mass training all year round, always. So it depends on what you want, what your goal is, what shape do you want to be in, and how long do you give yourself to do it. There's a lot of factors involved. Speaking of, I'm launching a program soon. It's going to be fitness consulting, because I'm thinking about, I'm going to stop, maybe this is not a good way to announce it, but I might stop personal training, online training soon, because it's taking up a lot of my time, and honestly it's really hard. I'm barely sleeping these days. So I'm trying to let go of the client that I currently have, and eventually only be doing consulting. So basically, I take appointments and I talk with you, tell me what you're doing, what your goal is, and then I advise you on how to get there, basically. So that's what I'm gonna eventually start doing. I'm gonna put it together and announce it soon. Yeah, just start out putting there. What are your favorite lower back exercises, and what if you can explain, please? So there are not a lot of exercises for lower back. Obviously the best one is deadlift, but I don't do it. I don't like the movement. I've seen so many people get hurt doing deadlift, and I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth putting my health on the line just because I want to have a sexy lower back. So I don't do deadlift, but in my gym and in a lot of gyms, they have machines that kind of like a deadlift machine. So typically they kind of look like the ab machine, but you sit on it and you have support on your back, right? You sit and then you move. So pressure is applied to the back, and that only works your lower back. So obviously that's the machine I use that's the trainer I like for my lower back. Dumbbell bench pullover for chest or for lat. Actually it works both depending on how you do it. I believe the movement starts from back, and when you get to this point it works your lat, but past this point you start to go into your chest and a little bit in your triceps depending on how you do it. But I do it for lat. I don't do it for chest. I do it on lat days. Biggest advice for massive lat like yours. So my lat was a very weak body part years ago, and that's because I didn't know you could train them. But when I found out about them, what I did to fix that was I will start all my workout with with lat pull-ups. I will start all my workout with wide grip pull-ups. So that's what I'll do every day when I walk into the gym to warm up, and that's what fixed it. And then eventually, when I realized it was good enough for me, I then stopped doing that. I stopped doing the pull-ups and only have a lat day. So that's how I fixed it. What was the process? Who made you that huge? Congratulations for everything. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. The process is going to the gym for 12 years and eating the right stuff. How do you deal with period where your body needs a rest and you feel like you're losing your gains even after you have rested? So I will take a break. I usually used to take 3-month break every year, mostly to focus on business. So 3 months, I did 3 months where I don't go to the gym, I don't worry about what I'm eating, then again, I wasn't really worried about what I was eating back then. But I would take a break where, no gym, nothing, I'm focusing on my job, focusing on other aspect of my life, trying to put things together, and I stopped doing that. But what to do is to take a break. That worked for me. I'll take a break. I believe anything from 3 weeks to a month is good for you to have rested enough, because the body gets tired. When you're doing the same thing, taking your body through the same thing, you get tired of it, and then it doesn't adapt anymore because it is used to it. It has adapted to the point where it doesn't need to adapt to it anymore. So increasing your protein intake, you could try that. Increase your protein intake, try some amino, try some multivitamins as well. Maybe change the way you train, right? Change your workout routine, change your diet a little bit. And if it doesn't work, then take a break. Take a month break, take 3 weeks break, and get back into it. How to get big and strong legs? What are the fundamentals and must-do things? So a mistake that I've done at the beginning was not training my legs enough. I wasn't training them at all. For the first 2 years, I wasn't training them at all because I didn't know how to train them, obviously. And there was nobody to teach me. I never had a coach. So I wasn't training them. And when I started training them, I'll train my legs once a week, which was another big mistake, because your legs is basically half of your body, and actually most of your muscles on your body is on your lower body, actually from the waist down. But this is a lot of muscles, so you need to train them at least twice a week, definitely. And what I've done that helped me, my legs are not the way I want them to be, but I've made a lot of progress in the past couple of years. Progress I'm really proud of, happy about. And I've achieved that by separating them, doing quads on a different day, so I can really focus on the quads and give them time to recover, and hamstring on a different day. And then I focus on the hamstring, and obviously most of the exercises you do for quads, some of them will go a little in your hamstring, and most of the exercises you do for hamstring will only go to your quads. So you're basically training legs twice a day, but it's a day where you are really focusing on each part on different days. So that's what I started doing, and that's when I really started getting results. And obviously the calves as well. The calves you need to train them at least 3 to 4 times a week, because it's a really stubborn muscle. So that's my advice for you. And for legs, go heavy, but not too heavy. And then obviously this goes for everybody part obviously, but it's even more relevant for legs, is to reduce the rest between set as much as possible. 30 seconds, 40 seconds is perfect. What I do is actually I will finish an exercise in 2 songs, because I'm always listening to music at the gym. So I believe 2 songs about 7-8 minutes. So that's what I have to finish one exercise. Tip for big chest. So my chest is so developed mainly because that's all I trained when I started training. It was chest and arms. And even prior to that, I did press-ups, right? I did press-ups in the house, before I started going to the gym. I did that for about 2 years, I believe, 2 or 3 years. So my parents are ministers, and obviously growing up, you always had guests in the house, people from different churches in the world coming, staying over in the house. And at some point, you had a martial artist. So he was a pastor, a minister, but also a martial artist. So him and his sister stayed with us for few months, and then obviously he was a martial artist, so he knew about nutrition, and I guess he knew about bodybuilding. He had some knowledge, so he taught me to do press up 3 times a day. I'll do 100 press up when I wake up, 100 press up in school before my lunch, 100 press up when I get back home, and then 100 press up before I go to sleep. So that's about 400 press up a day. And sometimes when I get bored, I will do another 100 press ups. So my chest was already pretty developed before I hit the gym. So I guess I had a predisposition for that. And also when I started training, obviously it was all chest and arms for a while. So that's why both my arms and chest are so far ahead compared to the rest of the body. And your chest is a big muscle, right? So there's a way to train it so you actually get a full rounded chest. It's a big muscle. It's a really big muscle on the body, and you have to make sure you train all the 3 parts properly, right? Train the upper chest with inclined benches, the chest in general with flat benches, and the part people neglect but shouldn't is the lower under the chest, and that is the declined bench press. The declined bench dumbbell press is the best. well, for me, I feel it more than I do on the barbell press. The dumbbell press really does it for me. Actually, I did chest today, and yeah, that's good. That's great. So do a lot of dumbbell decline press for that. Do all the exercises for chest. Right? Incline, flat, decline, do the flies, and that's the best tip I can give you. Do a full day of your meals. Yeah, I actually have a video coming up, full day of eating. I think I will shoot it tomorrow. I should be able to shoot it tomorrow, and actually I will upload both this video and the full day of eating on Sundays. So well, I guess you have both on the same day. So last question. Actually, didn't get a lot of questions this time, and I noticed I also have less traffic on my account. I hope everybody's doing fine. So last question: how do I make progressive overload plays? Have been lifting for about 2 years now, and I'm about the same size. So yeah, assume you have hit a plateau, and there are a few things you can do when you hit the plateau. Increase the weight that you're lifting. You can increase the weight you're lifting. You can slow down movement, so you expose your muscles to more time on that tension. You can reduce your rest between sets. Increase the weight, obviously. So those are things you can do to make sure you're making progress. Because a lot of people tend to get too comfortable with their routine and they don't make improvement. So if you're training the same for too long, your body gets used to it and it doesn't improve anymore. Because you have to shock it. You have to make your body go beyond. That's basically what it is. You have to destroy your body. So if you go into the gym, you're working out, you are not sore after that, you're not completely tired and broken down after that, you have not worked out, you've maintained your muscles. So you need to shut them and increase the weight you're lifting, increase your maximum weight, and do that gradually. Because obviously, if you add 10 kilograms to your max weight, you're not going to be able to lift it. But you can add 1 kilograms a month to it. Make an effort to add 1 kilograms to all your weight that you're lifting. So, and then you increase it over time: 1 kilogram, 2 kilograms, 3 kilograms, and you do it progressively, and that's how you increase your strength and also keep making progress. And I work with people who have gotten to they are the peak, right? They're done. They won't get any stronger. They're already as strong as they can be. So the way to keep making improvement, if that is your case, is to, like I said, slow down movements, make sure you're doing the movement correctly, increasing the time and the tension, decreasing your rest between sets, and obviously don't neglect your diet as well. Make sure while you're improving the gym, improving the kitchen as well. And that is it for today. This is actually quite a long video. I believe it's going to be close to 1 hour, which is a lot. Congratulations if you watched the whole thing. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I have more content coming. I'm going to be more active on YouTube from now on, make more videos, and I'll appreciate the subscription. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and stay strong.